I'm finding something very disturbing out there, not only on social media, but the people who I talk to who are convinced that Kawhi Leonard has brought stability and balance to the NBA and that there are no more super teams. Well, I am going to explain to you, the ignorant masses, why super teams still now and will always exist as you've entered the sports opinion log here in Lex Anderson world. I'm your host, Lex Anderson, and let me just get down to business. Kawhi Leonard did not restore balance on the NBA landscape, according to whatever hashtag NBA Twitter has to say. Super teams have existed since the dawn of man, since the day and age that this letter ball was put through a nylon net or a chain link, depending on what neighborhood you're in. So, for the ignorant masses out there, let me, the sports historian, educate you on super teams. No look pass, always a key to victory. Super teams are built one of two ways. They're either built organically from within and they become superstars, or you have a lot of money as an owner that you're willing to spend and you bring in free agents to play in the hopes of winning a championship. Or, excuse me, there's a third option, like the Warriors most recently, the most recent dynasty, 5 straight NBA finals, won chips with the presence of Durant. They grew organically, and a bandwagon biatch hitched his wagon to their cart, and they carried him to a championship, despite him averaging 35 points in the NBA Finals. Okay? But of course, Durant's oddball, weirdo mentality couldn't deal with his role, which is why he left. But I digress. Let me carry on. So let's just go back to the early 80s. Lakers, right? Magic and Bird. Who did the Lakers have? Magic Johnson, James Worthy, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Three superstars. And then you have your complementary players, AC Green, Brian Scott. Okay? Celtics, Bird, Parrish, McHale. Then you have your bench players, Danny Ainge. See, for those of you who do or don't know. So now we'll speed it up a little bit. The Detroit Pistons, the NBA bad boys, Isaiah Thomas, Bill Laimbeer, Dennis Rodman. However, they had enforcers, John Sally, Vinny Microwave Johnson, one of the most efficient 6 men before there were so-called 6 men off the bench threats anyone can ever have. And this is for the old school guys. Vinny Microwave Johnson, oh, he was a problem. And of course, Jordan in his early years couldn't get past the Pistons. They literally beat him down each and every time until, of course, general manager Krause built organically, drafted Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, and through the guidance, iron sharpening iron, the will of Jordan to win, made Pippen and Horace Grant who they were. And then, of course, a great bench. Kerr, Judd Bushler, Cartwright, a three-headed center, three different 6'10" guys that could come on the floor and wreak damage. Come on, Paxton, Craig Hodges, 3-point specialist. Okay? So there's always been a super team. So don't be fooled that, oh, each team has 2 stars. That's baloney, because you know why? Between next coming season in 2020 and the future of 2023, all you need is a premier free agent during that time to sign with one of the teams who we feel can already win a championship as they are. Lakers with, of course, LeBron and AD. Now, after Jordan's Bulls, we had the Rockets, which was pretty much Hakeem Olajuwon. You had the Jets. Clyde Drexler came along. Look at that. 3. And then, of course, you had a dangerous bench. 3-point specialist. The blueprint has always remained the same. But here I have to educate the ignorant masses who are like, oh, what a relief, there's no more super teams. Technically, the Warriors who lost to the Raptors, they're not even a super team because they fell apart during the playoffs. Did they three-peat? No, they did not. Did they lose a championship on their home court again? Yes, they did. And there you have it. So the Warriors definitely don't get away with being the greatest team that ever lived in NBA history. We still uphold the 72-10 Bulls because they sealed the deal by getting a ring. So 73-9 with no ring, no one cares. Are the Warriors a dynasty? Yes. Are they the greatest team ever to have lived? No, they are not. So now let's fast forward to Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal with premier scorer Glenn Rice, which with Phil Jackson, yeah, the three-peat. Okay, and then, of course, the threat of the San Antonio Spurs. Duncan and the Admiral, Popovich, of course, great coach. Ginobili, one of Europe's best players who came over. Oh, and sorry, let me backtrack real quick about the Bulls, sorry, because it's a great history lesson. The Bulls, right? Don't forget when they got Kukoc involved, one of the greatest European players. So you had Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, Kukoc, and again, excellent bench players. Even the Utah Jazz, who lost to Jordan twice. Stockton, Malone, and another three-point specialist that they had. Oh, my God, Maravich. No, that's someone else. Oh, well, but, Utah Jazz, there was a third guy there somewhere. Now, fast forward to the Lakers and their dynasty. Okay, there you have it. Then, of course, in the middle, then you had the Spurs. They were doing their thing. Then LeBron formed the super team, if I'm getting it right. So, a super team, even though super teams have already existed. LeBron, Bosh, Wade. And even still, that didn't guarantee a championship. They lost to the Mavericks, right? With Dirk, the Jet, Jason Terry, Jason Kidd, 3 premier players. Then they finally did their thing. Then, of course, there was OKC. But, of course, we know that Harden, Westbrook, and Durant, they lost, right? And then, of course, the Spurs came around and got revenge on the Miami Heat. Then they did their thing. Then, of course, Golden State came through. And the rest is history. So there you have it. Don't be ignorant. Don't agree with what other people say just because you want to sound good. That's why I'm out here, the sports historian, to educate the ignorant masses, because I am not afraid of my intelligence. I shine like the bright lights that are upon me right now, like the bright lights of the playoffs. I come through to perform, and I come through to win, and I come through to educate and inform the ignorant masses that the super team has always existed. Let's stop acting like 2 players, 2 superstars per team is balanced, because between 2020 and 2023, anything can happen. All right? And I've already displayed how super teams come to evolve. The players internally are drafted, are picked, they're trades, and they grow together as one, like Jordan's Bulls, or the Detroit Pistons, the Bad Boys, or you pick them out. Kobe, let's get you from Charlotte, right? That's where he was originally drafted. Shaq, let's pull you from Orlando. Glenn Rice, come on through. And premier three-point shooters. The blueprint to winning a chip has always been the same. Shout out to Jay-Z, of course. Hove, Rock is in the building. There you go. My gift to you, the sports historian, to the sports fans. Today, tomorrow, in the future, let it be known. July 13th, 2019, Lex Anderson tells you and breaks down the history of the super teams. They've always existed. You know what to do. If you're down with NBA and sports talk, subscribe, like, press the bell icon to stay notified for any and all upcoming future videos. IGTV viewers, NHL players, y'all know how it is. You know what I'm about, and you know how I do. Drop a comment below. Let me know where you stand. Lex Anderson signing out.